built on relationships, focused on people, and rooted in the community. Welcome to the Build Blue podcast. Tune in for weekly episodes featuring guests who are building a better tomorrow. You'll hear inspiring stories from industry leaders, business owners, community partners, and our team members. The Build Blue podcast, where construction comes to life. An Apex Construction Group production. Welcome to the Build Blue podcast. My name is Jess Blaze, and we are here with Molly Byron from the Southern Minnesota, or the Small Business Development Center and the Meatery. So this is like a 2-for-1, and I'm so excited to have you here, Molly. We're going to learn a little bit more about the Small Business Development Center and what you do in your role there, and then your family business, the Meatery.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming. So we start all of our podcasts with an icebreaker. So I want to know about your very first job.
My very first job back in 2008, I was 17, and I was a certified nursing aide at Lakeshore Inn Nursing Home in Waseca. All my friends were working at Hy-Vee, which was there at the time, and I was very afraid to run the cash register, and so I was going to have to look elsewhere. And my grandma actually was a head nurse at a nursing home in Janesville, and I thought, why not? And I get to wear really cute scrubs. But I actually really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about having patience and compassion for people, and really was that first experience of why I wanted to go into a career of service.
Good for you. It's funny how small towns always seem to have like that one job that all the kids work at. I grew up in a small town too, and it was a pizza place where I grew up that everybody worked at.
So you get it.
So
I wanted to do something a little different.
I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background and how you got here.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm from Waseca, Minnesota, a small town. Actually, grew up on a family farm. I'm the 6th generation to live on my farm. And then it was one of those moments where I thought, if I want to get a job and have a great career, I need to move away. And which is just not true, but I learned that later in life.
Yeah.
But I decided to go to Loyola University in Chicago, where I got a bachelor's in communications. There, I lived in Chicago for 10 years, and I worked in politics there. But it was actually the pandemic that brought me back home. 2 weeks before the pandemic, I actually put my notice in because I thought I was going to move to Washington, D.C. And I kind of had a job lined up there, but the pandemic hit, and they're like, actually, we're going to put everything on hold right now. And I'm like, great, awesome. And I also just really didn't want to be in a big city with the start of the pandemic, so I thought, you know what, the safest place I can go is the farm. So I packed up and I moved home, thinking I'll do the 2-week quarantine, quickly realizing that this is not going to be over in 2 weeks. But also, it's really nice. I can go down the road and visit my grandparents or, people that I haven't seen in so long. And so I quickly reconnected with my Southern Minnesota roots, especially being on the farm. I got really interested in agriculture, and so I enrolled in the farm business management program at South Central College, where you get an individual instructor and you actually work on the operations of your real farm. Because right now we're in transition with our farm, and my cousins, my generation, nobody grew up farming, and so now we're just trying to figure out what does that future look like for us. So
that's really interesting. I grew up on a farm as well in Iowa, and so similar to you, I think I'm 5th generation, and none of my generation is farming either. So that program at South Central is really interesting. Do you have interest in managing the farm?
Yes, I do. I don't see myself actually doing the day-to-day, but right now I'm just working on what does that look like, managing it. There's so many innovative ideas that I kind of have, and slowly talking with my uncles and my dad about, but the future looks bright. And so with that, I ended up working at City Hall in Waseca and the Chamber of Commerce, and one of our big projects we put on was the Waseca New Business Challenge, which was like a entrepreneurial training program, 10 weeks, and then a pitch competition at the end, and we gave away $30,000 to a business that wanted to open a brick and mortar within the city. And the Meatery actually was part of that cohort. I hadn't quite joined the team yet, but I was a part of it. My aunt and my cousin Sam and her cousin Mackenzie did the cohort, and I remember thinking, what is this Meatery thing going on? And okay, that kind of sounds cool, or, helping shape it a little bit. But by the end, they're like, will you join us? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. This sounds great. So
cool. I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that aspect of your career and your path. Let's talk about the Small Business Development Center. Being a commercial contractor, we send a lot of people your way who are looking to start a business, open a business. But for people who aren't familiar, give us a little bit of details on what the Small Business Development Center is and the resource that it is for business owners in our community.
Yeah, so there are 9 centers that cover the whole state of Minnesota. Our center covers 9 counties. We're the South Central region. I'm the program manager there, so I'm that first person that you'll talk to if you're interested, if you have an idea and you want to make it into a business, if you already have a business and you want some assistance. And we also do a lot of training programs, but we're confidential, we're no cost, and we work with 14 amazing consultants who are so knowledgeable. I always tell them, have all your questions. I can answer some, but I will connect you with these really great resources, and they deal with, topics on marketing, finance, accounting, human resources, cybersecurity, you name it. They are really the boots on the ground helping businesses get started.
Wow, that's really cool. So if someone has an idea, thinking about opening a business, they get a hold of you, they come in, and that you're the first touch.
Yes, and entrepreneurs are very passionate people. I have the best job. And I just enjoy listening to their ideas. A lot of times people are nervous, or they really, we like to say that the Small Business Development Center is kind of that hidden gem, because nobody knows we're out there, but once they do, it's just exactly what they needed. There's been tears. It's just really a hard journey out there alone when you're an entrepreneur, and so it's really great to be that first touch point, and I can send them on, and they're always so grateful, and so yeah, it's been great.
And so once you send them on, they're meeting with these consultants and walking through kind of like creating a business plan, and figuring out what the next steps are beyond.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Very cool. What excites you most about the opportunities for small business owners in the region?
So I feel like the culture of entrepreneurship is changing. I feel like more people are quitting their 9-to-5 jobs or taking on that side hustle. They're going for it. They're actually pursuing that idea or venture that they have. And I think that's great. And I think they actually are using the resources that are out there. And I'm just really happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, that is really exciting. And I think our community specifically just really embraces our small businesses. And it's cool to see the small businesses come together and everything that they're contributing to the community is really great too. So let's talk about the Behind the Success series. That's something that you guys are putting on that's coming up here this spring.
Yeah, so the Behind the Success series is hosted by the Small Business Development Center and sponsored by Connect Business Magazine, the Strategic Partnership Center with Minnesota State University, and our new title sponsor, Pioneer Bank. And it's where we bring in a highly successful entrepreneur, and they tell their highs and lows, their stories of how they became successful, and it's facilitated by Elisa County from KUIC. And it's really an intimate setting. Our first feature presenter was Chris Lindahl, and then this last January was Andrew Herr of Taylor Holdings. And I think more and more people are starting to come because it's just really a unique experience to be able to hear these stories from people that might seem at times, you won't be able to be in a room with them sometimes. And there's a lot of vulnerability there. And I think that that's so relatable, whether you own a business or you're an entrepreneur or just, interested in a really good story. And so I think there's something for everybody.
And this upcoming session is featuring Sarah Richards?
Yes, it is on May 17th, 4 to 5:15 p.m. at Pioneer Bank, their event space. And it's featuring Sarah Richards, and we're really excited to have her there.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And if you aren't familiar with Sarah, she is Jones Medal here locally, a powerful woman executive, which is great too.
Yeah.
So how can people get involved if they want to attend? Is that open to the public?
Yep, it's open to the public. Where registrations are quickly, seats are getting full, so register. You can find the page to register at myminnesotabusiness.com. That's also the SBDC's website.
Great. So potential entrepreneurs can also find resources at that website as well. Great. So let's switch gears now to the family business, the Meatery. And
Yes.
This is so exciting. There's been a lot of buzz in the area about it. And so tell us what it is, how it came to be. This is cool.
Yeah, so the very beginning, it started years ago with my family always having conversations over a meal, just talking about how, they'd really love to help bring a community of other meat enthusiasts, which we eventually coined Meat Enthusiast, together. And how they did that, they didn't really quite have the pieces together, but it was there. And then the pandemic happened, and they're hog farmers themselves, and had to witness all the supply chain issues and the empty grocery store meat shelves. And so that was kind of that aha moment of, we have to do something. We can actually maybe provide access and not just that inspiration piece. And so I just happened to be running this entrepreneur startup program, and they're like, we're coming on. I'm like, sure. They did. They finished, and by the end of that, it really became something special. We started bringing on partners where we work with small farms and meat markets to help ship their products nationwide and expanding their business beyond their physical location, and then providing just like the top quality meat to other direct consumers and meat enthusiasts out there. Because you grew up on a farm, it's just nothing like from the farm. You also know where it's coming from. We are just a marketplace. We're an e-commerce business, and so this is truly packaged on site in their locations, coming right from them. So it's a really innovative model. We've had a lot of support from many organizations. We were in the Minnesota Cup. We were a semifinalist in the 2022 beverage and egg and food division. Only being 4 months old. We really had no business being there, but we were like, awesome. And from that, we got a grant from Launch Minnesota, which is the state organization's entrepreneur arm. And then actually tomorrow we've been invited to speak at the Capitol to talk about, just all the resources that have been there that helped us get to where we are today, that we would not be where we are without them.
For sure. Do you think your experience with the Small Business Development Center and your experience with the chamber in the city of Waseca, has that lent itself to growing the Meatery? Oh,
I think so. I'm so grateful for just all the dots connecting at the right time. I thought I would never be home. This is just crazy, but it's just been the best. And working with family too. Our team is a team of 11, and we're all family members, and we just party a lot together. It's a really great time, and the entrepreneurial spirit is alive in all of us, and there's just some really we have some of the best food ever.
So explain how it works a little bit more. So you're an e-commerce online marketplace for local meat. So you can go to your website and, for example, order meat from Nicolette.
So we work with 10 partner shops, ranging from small meat markets to farms across the state of Minnesota. And we're actually going to be bringing on more this year as we grow, which we are. And you can go to our site is themeaterymn.com, and there you'll find where we have all our bundles, these boxes from all the farms that we actually work with them to put these together, and we taste test everything. So there's nothing on there that we haven't tried and have put our stamp of approval on, which is honestly the best part of the job.
I bet. It sounds awesome.
And my nickname on the team is actually the Meat Fairy, which is why I brought a little something for you over here.
You totally are the Meat Fairy.
Because I work with a lot of the influencers or people just on the community side online, and half the time I'm talking in emojis like fire emoji, heart emoji, they're just sending me like just really great messages or just they're
Yes.
inquiring, and I just am like, you know, how can I get you like something to thank you? I mean, I just am sending meat to people to try, you know, things like that. It's really fun, and so I'm the meat fairy.
The Meatery. So you did touch on the term meat enthusiast, but this is something that you guys have coined, and you actually have. I can show it for the YouTube watchers, the little meat enthusiast sticker, which is so cute. So you guys like sitting around the table testing the meat, and this term is born.
Well, it was during the New Business Challenge. Mackenzie Drager on the team, who was attending, was, you know, making the drive because she lives in Mankato, and she would drive to Waseca, and she kind of actually just put a blog post out about it this past week, and how she wishes it was a little more profound story, but that it was really in the car that she was like, oh, meat enthusiast, because we were trying to figure out, okay, what do we call this? We were just writing out names, you know, and we kind of had the word like enthusiast in there, and we kind of were taking words and putting it with meat, and she like put those two together, and it was
meant to be. And the best ideas never come when you're actually like sitting down and brainstorming them.
Right.
Never. So how has growing up on a farm in southern Minnesota shaped you into the person that you are?
I mean, it's impacted me tremendously. I think that I witnessed a lot of problem solving growing up on a farm, and so I think that's a big part of being an entrepreneur. And so I think it made me resilient and gave me perseverance. And I think just growing up in a rural community has made me, you know, feel a more connection to the people who live there, and even just the impact that agriculture has on a society as a whole.
Definitely. Is there anything that you can share with us about what the future holds for the Meatery?
Well, that's why I did bring a little something for you. This is actually very special because it's not out yet. Ooh. This is inside here. I'll open it.
Yeah.
Actually a package of the Meatery bacon.
Ooh.
This is a special recipe.
Look at this.
By Brandon Blake on the team. It's a chipotle raspberry. And this is what we are working on with AURI, and to scale it up and hopefully launch in the fall. But we're doing a first sample sharing at the men's night at the Moondogs game with United Way.
Sure.
So,
and that's coming up already in June.
Yeah, we're
which will be
making
here before
bacon.
we
We're
know.
making a lot of bacon.
Making bacon, and this is going to sound weird, but this is beautiful bacon.
It doesn't sound weird at all.
Okay, thank you. I was like, I'm going to say this, and it may be weird. It's beautiful bacon, and chipotle raspberry is the flavor of this one, and so goal is this will be available in stores.
Yep, on our site, and you know, who knows?
Who knows?
Yep.
The sky's the limit for you guys. This is so cool. The branding is cute. I just love everything about it. So I'll call myself a meat enthusiast.
Yes.
I think that would work. Is there anything you'd like to add, Molly, about the SBDC or the Meatery? I know we kind of did a 2-for-1 with both of your roles here.
Well, I just think the last thing I'll add is, you know, for both sides, we're just so grateful to have the Mankato community, especially the Mankato business community, be so supportive. They've been so incredible to the Meatery, and you know, we feel really fortunate to be here and join you guys in this community.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for the treats. I can't wait to try this bacon. I will give you
let me know.
I will absolutely give you an update. My kids
and
are
some photos.
huge.
We'll post photos.
Okay,
too.
my kids are huge bacon fans, so I see like BLTs in our future.
It makes a really great BLT.
I was just going to ask, is there any recommendations that
BLT.
you have? BLT?
That's what I would recommend.
All right, with like a chipotle mayo?
I can see it. I can see it.
Sounds good. All right, Molly, thank you so much for joining us. We
having
appreciate
me.
it. You can listen to the Build Blue podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, and you can find us on YouTube as well. We'll see you next week.